But for right here, right now, I want to talk about power, power pathways. And I want to ask you a question. Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your career and wondered, is this it or is there something more? If you're nodding yes, then you're here in the right place today. I want you to think about it. You've got decades of experience and skills, sharper than ever. But perhaps there's that nagging feeling of, well, what's next? Or could I do more? Can I do more? Well, that's what we're going to tackle today. And you may also be wondering, well, with the new year coming up, what can I do differently in the new year? What's going to be about in the new year? Well, I want to show you how you can harness the power of your midlife years. Now, I'm talking to my folk out there who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. But I want to show you in your midlife years your power that you have and how you can transform that power of your midlife experience into your most dynamic, impactful career and life era yet. Okay? And that's era, not era. Did it sound like I was talking about a mistake? I meant era, ERA, time. The most impactful, dynamic, and impactful time ever. And I don't want to just scratch the surface. I really want to dig a little deep and really challenge you to think about some different think about things from a different perspective and how you can pivot that accumulated wisdom that you have and make it work for you in today's world. And Bernadette, how are you? Good to see you. I missed you. How are you? How was your trip to Michigan? It's so good to see you. Happy holidays. Oh, I love that New Year's resolution, and I believe you're going to do that. That's going to be one that's going to come right up there true. That sparkle. Yes, indeed. So let me get back over here to my banners, make sure folk are saying hello. But what I want to do is um, define what leadership can look like for you in 2024 when you reflect on, think about, and take advantage of these power pathways that I'm going to share about. I'm going to share with you. And it's really not about us just keeping up with things in 2024, but it really is about the potential we have to set the pace, to set the bar, to be the example that others follow. And so if you're ready to do that, to shake things up, to, take more control of your narrative and to step into a leadership role, your life, your next, not only fulfilling yourself, but also doing some groundbreaking stuff, then stick with me. And by the way, for those of you who want to continue this discussion on an ongoing basis, just jump over to elevatenextlevelsuccess.com and come on and visit me there because we get into a lot more of these tips on a regular basis. Love to see you there. And I really would love to see you over on my YouTube channel too. They've got this thing where you don't ask people too many things to do. I'm just so excited with the platforms that I'm now using to bring information. That's why I started my business at late life in my late 60s, because I wanted to create more platforms in so that I could share the wisdom and experience that I've gained through the years. So that's why I'm going to tell you about the platform. So that's elevatenextlevelsuccess.com. When you go there, I ask for your email address. You come on in and we I share tips and actionable strategies and really focus on reinventing and what you can do next. And on my YouTube channel, I do the same kind of thing too. So, listen, by the end of this conversation, however, you're going to walk away with some concrete, actionable steps to help elevate your career and life. For those of you who I haven't met yet, let me say hello to. And oh, I just want to first, let me just say congratulations. Bernadette, you just finished your BA's bachelor's. Oh my goodness, congratulations. That's wonderful. Creating that impact, getting ready for 2024 to, be the best that you can be and even better. So, for those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm Dr. Geneva, leadership expert, and I specialize in reinvention and helping leaders reinvent for greater impact and influence. Because the more that you have, the more of your influence that you share, and you use the best practices, and you're really focused, the better our world and community is going to be, because your leadership creates that kind of impact. So in my conversations, I like to talk a lot about not only just reinventing your impact and the leadership skills, but how to navigate those changes that life brings, because it's there. Life always brings those changes. And how do you manage that? And I've been in this business doing this for over 4 decades. And I've run multi-million-dollar organizations, managed many teams, mentored hundreds, raised millions of dollars. And all of that experience and wisdom, I want to bring to you so that you can be an even greater leader with more impact. Because the more leaders we have like you who are creating impact and influence, the better world we're going to have. And that's where my passion lies. So today, I want to talk about power pathways. Excuse me. Got my water here this time. I want to talk about power pathways. And what do I mean? Oh, okay. All right. Just on time. Thank you. What do I mean by that when I say power pathways, and what importance it is for this time in midlife? For those of you who are in 40s, 50s, 60s, and perhaps a little beyond, how you view this stage of life can make all the difference. It's all about your perspective, and seeing midlife as a time for opportunity, your best life, and the fact that that best season lies ahead, opportunity. I want you to see it that way rather than as a period of decline. And if your perspective is about all this opportunity I can do, I can have, I can see, based upon everything I've come through, if you view it that way, it does open up a world of possibilities. And you want to reach those stages. If you're in your 40s, you want to make it to 50. If you're in your 50, you want to go to 60, and so on and so on and so on. So why not make it the best and the most vibrant, and have that perspective that carries us through these years with vibrancy and energy? And that's what I think it's all about. And as we go through life, we're going to come across those changes, the personal ones where, we empty nest that we have when our children are gone. We lose a spouse or a loved one. We're going to see career, or we have and going to see career changes. When we perhaps move from one job to another, lose something, then come back. And there's age-related changes that occur during this middle life period, this middle of your life. All of these changes They are there. And how we navigate and master and handle them, that's what matters, because they're going to be there. There's nothing you can do about it. And, let me know in the comments if you've had any life changes lately. Thumbs up if you've experienced one of these uh, personal changes or career changes or age related changes, or, you know, lost a loved one or moved, or you're experiencing empty nesting, or you've had a health challenge. Let me know in the comments if that's happened. Good morning, Maureen, my soror and friend. Good to see you. Good to see all of you. I'm just so delighted you're here. But back to the point. Robin, how are you? So good, so good. Pleasure. You grace my presence. I just love having you here. Thank you. So I want to stay on the topic of these changes that we know are coming. So there's no sense that are there. You've experienced them. If you in midlife, you've experienced them. That's one of the things that happens in midlife. In them middle years, you no longer a young person or a teenager, when you be bopping around, life is wonderful, little if no responsibility. When you get in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's like, wow, life happens all the time. And the whole point of the matters, but you still want to contribute and work and have impact and do things. You ain't done yet. So the point is, if the changes are still going to happen and you can't get away from them, and they really happen more and more in the middle years, and you still want to keep, you know, providing and doing and giving the impact, you got to figure out how to navigate those changes so you can still do your thing and be even more vibrant than ever. Right? That's what I believe in. And so today's conversation about power pathways says that here are the things that you can do that'll give you that extra oomph, that power, so that you can move forward even greater and better into 2023. And then when we moving, I want you to, debunk and, forget about those myths and objections that we hear about as we're moving and growing into our midlife. Um, the myth that says creativity peaks at a young age. That's a myth. Let me tell you, creativity knows no age limits. We like fine wine, maturing and deepening over time. Think about Julia Child, who revolutionized cooking, not in her youth, but well into her later years, or Cicely Tyson, who continued to act magnificently well into her later years and still maintain that creativity. So, in 2024, it's about tapping into that lifetime of knowledge to fuel your creative spirit. I want to know how many of you drop a thumbs up if you feel you're getting more creative as you amass your experience. You know, I want to know who feels that way, that you're getting much, much more creative, that you're blossoming. And then there's this other myth, I don't be believing this one either. And that is that energy and passion inevitably diminish over time. I don't believe that. It's easy to think that our drive for innovation and energy and passion weakens as we are growing older, 40s, 50s, 60s. But, that's just not the case. Research shows our passion can actually intensify in midlife. And because we're much more self-aware, I know if you in your 50 some, if you 50 some, I know that, or 60 some, you probably know a lot about yourself because you've done seen yourself do so many things. But we experience that self-awareness, confidence, sense of purpose, and things that we'll say and do. Because I know I say and do things now and really don't care that I probably would not have said in my 20, 30 years ago. Okay. But you have that confidence because you've been through stuff. And these factors can really contribute to a heightened sense of passion and commitment and speaking up, especially when others' expectations no longer constrain us. Because that's one of the things we don't talk about a lot. One of the beauties of midlife, you midlifers, and that is that what people say about you when you 55 or when you get to be 48 or you 62 don't matter like it used to when you was in your 20s or 30s, right? And so other people's expectations, you know, whatever, they don't constrain you as much, which again is another factor that allows you and kind of opens up stuff you can do. And the research does align with the idea that midlife can be a period of transformation and renewal where we rediscover our passions and they're intensified. And the things that we do and our commitments can take on new meaning. Let me know if you resonate with any of this. Give me a thumbs up or comment if you believe that, in fact, you're not losing your energy and passion, but gaining it more as you move into your midlife. And as you have this energy and passion and leave behind the constraints of what other people think, you can be more authentic, more focused, more passionate, because you're free from a lot of those external pressures that weighed you down before. Okay, now. And so in 2024, I want you to really focus on your energy and passion as your power pathways, propelling you to reinvent and reshape your world and your community for the better. And then there's this other notion that I just got to, just say one thing about, and that is that all this accumulated knowledge that we have because we're midlifers, that it gets stale and that we become out of touch. Mm. But the reality is, our years of experience make our insights not only more critical, but more deep. We ain't talking no surface stuff. I mean, we've been there, so we can go deep in terms of what things mean. So in 2024, your wisdom isn't just valuable, it's a competitive edge. And I want you to use it like that, a unique lens through which you can see and solve challenges. And, you ain't stale, you're seasoned, you're rich, and you're vibrant, and you're absolutely necessary and critical to innovation and leadership. And that's now what we're going to talk about, the empower pathways. Remember, as we go into this discussion, age is not a barrier, it's a pathway. That's why we're talking about pathways. Okay. So let me just stop here and I see so many. Hey, how you doing, Robin? Good to see you. Oh, Glenda, yes, this is being recorded. You can see it on the replay wherever you are. It's being streamed to LinkedIn, YouTube, um, Facebook, Twitter. See, that's what I'm talking about. Midlife, or even third life actors can get on all these platforms. So yes, Glenda, thanks for asking. Um, Thanks, Bernadette. Leah, oh my gosh. Outside voices don't matter creates much more freedom. See, and this is something that we need to revel in. That, again, one of the advantage of being in this vintage, this special part of life. And for those of you who are in your 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s and aren't thinking about or looking at this middle life, hey, you really missing something, but I want you to look forward to it. So we're going to be these role models for you so we can show you what's happening. Yes, yes, impossible in our 2023 and going to be with us in our 2024. Okay, so um, let's oh yeah, some of the comments here, I love them. Okay, so let's get real about 2024. You're a midlifer. You're in the prime of your midlife, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And it's time to redefine what these power pathways mean for you. So you've heard through your life resilience because you done lived it. Goal setting, health. You've heard about all of that before, but this isn't the same old song that I want to talk about today. Because we're not talking about surviving, we're really talking about thriving in 2024. And so I want to take some of these concepts that are familiar to us and look at them from a different perspective, turbocharging them for your life and where you are now and as you go into 2024. So, for example, I'm going to talk about how resilience isn't just about bouncing back, which we always, talk about. I bounce back. I'm a resilient. I bounce back. That's good. But for midlife, we're going to talk about not just bouncing back, but catapulting forward. Okay? So we're not stopping it just because I came back. I'm back. We're going to talk about here, moving forward. Okay? Different twist because we're midlifers. I want you to, and I'm going to talk about envisioning goal setting, just giving you a little preview that's laser focused on what sets your soul on fire, not just what's on your to-do list. And health, listen, let me tell you, it's not just about living longer because we are, because of the technology, the medical advances, we are going to live a long life. But it's how we live it. We want to live it vibrantly, strong, with energy and more purpose than ever. So you see how the reframing of these midlife years is so critical for us to do and how it really relates to how we lead our lives and lead others. So that connection. Okay. So these are the power pathways I want to talk about, and they're your launch pad for 2024, your toolkit for kicking butt and taking names. Yes. So let's not just walk these paths. I want us to run, sprint, fly. You got this. And you know what? I'm right here with you to help you on it. So if you ever want to talk about it, if you ever want help in figuring that out, book an appointment with me. You can go to my profile on LinkedIn and it says right there, book an appointment. And you can click on that and we be together. All right. So let's prepare. Well, I want to say hello to some folk who've come in. Is this Carrie J. Clark? Oh my gosh. How are you? Um, Carrie is the international regional director of my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. She's had a long tradition in the sorority in leadership roles, and we absolutely adore her and respect her, not only for her leadership, but for her innovation. How are you, Carrie? I love that you're here. Bernadette, yes, forward. Elaine, how are you? Checking in. That's one of my Facebook extraordinary women. You all know I have a Facebook group, don't you? Extraordinary Women Influencers. Haven't we been talking about this for a while, Elaine? And when she said checking in, that's what I do every week. In fact, I'll be doing it after I finish this conversation, checking in with extraordinary women influencers. How you doing, Elaine? So good to see you. Ski week to you, Glenda. Oh gosh. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Okay. So let's get to it because I got stuff to share with you. I check my notes and I got stuff, make sure I'm cool. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I've got banners. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right. I'm working with this. Y'all notice I'm so excited. Okay. Power pathway. Embrace change. Now, listen, you've navigated career highs and lows, the personal triumphs, the challenges, right? You can use the wisdom you've gained over the years in dealing with these challenges because you acquired this unique tool, which allows you to approach change with less apprehension. Okay. Because of what you've been through, you can say more often, I got this. And it really is about your perspective. You can approach this phase in our lives as doom and gloom, or you can think about it as, ooh, I'm going to be the wisest I've ever been. And it's going to be some exciting new times. My best is ahead of me. It's your perspective. Okay. And in 2024, I want you to use the change experiences that you've had. Some of them have been painful, some have been joyful, but I want you to use them as experiences for innovation and growth. I remember when I moved into uh, um, 1916, the year 2016, because my husband had just passed in 2015. And there was a lot of pain that I was moving into that new year with. And I had to take, yes, the grief, but I also learned a lot about myself and reconnected with my purpose. And so that experience, as painful as it was, helped steer me to growth and purpose. The other thing about embracing change as a power pathway is adaptability, because we've been through so much already. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go through all these changes. I don't know what's happening. You do know what's happening because you've been through some stuff. And so now you can adapt better, and you can define what success looks like for you. And it is about resilience, this term that we often throw around. But for you, you're not learning resilience, you got it. It's part of your fabric. It's woven into the fabric of your being. So that means that you have in your arsenal the stuff to survive the shifts that are going on, and not only survive them, but here's the key, to actively shape them. Our heads weren't there when we was 20, when we was 30, maybe not even in our 40s. But you got this now, midlifers. You got it. So this is your chance for 2024 to redefine change, to reframe change as a dynamic and integral part of your midlife leadership and life, especially for those of you midlifers who have amassed a wealth of experience and are poised to leverage it in innovative ways. It speaks to the strength and wisdom that comes with experience and a better position to adapt to change and lead it. It's time, 2024, for you to be the architect of your future, leveraging every change as a stepping stone to something greater. Power pathway. Embrace change. Power pathway. Leverage experience and wisdom. Now, in the prime of your life, you're not just carrying years of experience, you've got a reservoir of invaluable wisdom to you, for you, and those around you. And as a woman in particular who's journeyed through various phases of life and leadership, you're in a unique position to use this accumulated knowledge not just as a reference point, but as a powerful tool for insight. Mhm. So you are the person that people can turn to for insight and impactful decision making. This is where you leveraging your experience and wisdom becomes a game changer. Mhm. It's not about using your past to inform the future. You're not living in your past, but you are using it to inform the future. And your experiences become lessons, and those challenges you've had really become case studies, and the triumphs become blueprints for others to follow. And you can share that. It's like taking what you've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, and using it to guide your path and light the way for others. For example, your insights can help shape the careers and lives of others. So you have a great opportunity to be a mentor, and you can provide guidance that only someone with your depth of experience can offer. And how this works in leadership is that your wisdom and your deep insight, because again, you don't see things just on the surface, you can go deeper, okay, because you've had the experience. You're just not rapping it, you've lived it, okay? You've actually played the game. So, because of that, you can cut through a lot of the noise and confusion on various issues in your workplace and really get to solutions, suggestions, and ideas others may only see. And I had sometimes in a room, and you hear a lot of conversation, and you say, well, such a real bottom line basic, and bottom line basic activity is a word. It could be basic, really from experience. That's all that I do. People say, oh, wow. You know, that's, you know, that happened to you. If you've had that happen to you, let me know. Tell me about it. But and I want to say about experience and wisdom. It's also about adaptability. So that while the core, I hope you all are still with me. Oh my gosh, that's the first time I had this with StreamYard because it's so cool. So I'm going to put up this wonderful, thankful for this season, looking forward to the next, Robert. It just went out on me. Okay, it's probably my energy just short circuited everything, right? Well, I'm back. Okay. And what I was talking about was it was a very important, this very important concept about leveraging your experience and wisdom and recognizing that while the core of what you have is valuable, you might need to adjust how you do it so that you evolve with the times and stay up to date. Do you understand what I'm saying? For example, um, I'm an expert in strategic networking, and I've been doing it for lots of years, and it's helped me build public and private partnerships. I've raised over $100 million utilizing that skill, refining it, really knowing what strategic networking is and what it's about. And in these days and times, I have that core expertise of strategic networking, but now people network online. So I had to adjust and learn and adapt from just doing the face to face networking and sharing and helping leaders with my expertise around that to now incorporating what happens online and how in fact you can do strategic networking online. And so I do that too. So if any of you need help with that, just call me, book a call with me. But the point of the matter is you're leveraging your experience and wisdom. Just be mindful that sometimes you have to adapt the core of your expertise to whatever the times are. But that's cool because that means that you really relevant. You got that deep skill, and then you with it. So it all works. So adapting that. The bottom line is in 2024, I want you to use your rich experiences and accumulated wisdom to build, to create a legacy of knowledge, mentorship, and enlightened leadership using your skills and adapting them to what's happening. It's a power pathway that elevates your role and enriches those around you, making it, really critical as you step into 2024 and beyond. Oh, thank you for letting me know about. Okay, it's a very brief pause. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was my energy. I know. I short circuited everything, right? Okay. All right. Power pathway, fostering resilience. Now, we had a little conversation about this, but I want to come here because, one of the things that midlifers are is just resilient. I want you to, again, reframe this because it is a path, power pathway, and you already possess, most likely, resilience because by midlife, many of y'all have navigated tons of stuff, okay, and transition. And the navigation of that fosters resilience. So you got it, okay? However, I want to suggest to you that the concept of fostering resilience that I want to talk about as a power pathway can be viewed through slightly different lens and really requires you to apply. I really want to talk about applying your resistance, perhaps in new and unfamiliar ways for you midlifers. So, what do I mean? For those of you in leadership roles, resilience can mean teaching this trait to and within your teams and in your organizations. It really does involve creating environments that encourage learning from setbacks and viewing failures as stepping stones to success. So you've learned that. And if you just look at your challenges as, oh, I went through some stuff, and don't look at the lessons that you've learned and the case studies that you now have, and how you probably are an expert in bouncing back from setbacks, and viewing failures when you stop and reflect as stepping stones. You can teach that. You can use that as part of your leadership style to help others on your team, your employees, to learn that. Okay? Different way of looking at that resilience. The other is to share that resilience wisdom. Okay. And again, the mentoring and sharing your journey, telling your story, particularly to younger generations or peers. And this not only reinforces your own resilience, but also you're helping build it in others. Different perspective. And then no matter how bad you are, no matter how good you are and been in terms of your resilience, even the most resilient of us can really find new ways to grow and strengthen this trait and deepen deepen our skills, if nothing else, but cultivating an even bigger growth mindset. Okay. So there are always things we can learn and reinvent and be better at. So, in this way, this power pathway, fostering resilience remains um, dynamic, not just about developing resilience from scratch. I ain't talking to y'all about that. Okay. Because y'all done that. But I'm talking about taking what you've learned and continually adapting and growing this vital trait, okay, to meet what's ahead, those demands, both professionally and personally. The next, okay, got to talk about this networking for influence and impact. Now, this ain't about, see, I know y'all have your Rolodexes. Now, I said Rolodex before, and somebody thought I was talking about the watch. The Rolodex that of course, I'm showing my age, but that's okay. I love my age. I ain't got no problem with that. But the like accordion looking thing you used to have with the cards on the desk. Y'all so know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Used to sit on your desk and whirl and whirl with these cards and stuff. Okay. So we did that then. But this power pathway of networking for influence and impact in 2024 for midlifers ain't about just having that and flipping through them cards and expanding your contact list. This focus now in 2024 for you is more on strategic influence. And that means to fostering relationships that could lead to really significant collaborations, mentorship opportunities, and more influential roles. And so, this kind of networking that I'm talking about for you now, midlifers in 2024, is that this leverages the depth of your experience and established reputation for mutual benefit and increased influence in whatever your respective field is. And it's also the time for you to think about legacy and to, as you talk about networking for influence and impact, it's about your legacy. Okay. Because it's what you want to leave behind. That's very important. As well as, and I'm going to suggest to you that this might be something to consider, midlifers, is that as you think about in this reframed networking, as you network for influence and impact, that you think more and more about cross generation engagement so that those younger than you or those older than you, that you work cross generations. And so as you think about the networking that you do for the future and in 2024, I'd love for you to give some thought to that. And how many of you think that that might be an important thing to do as you're, really looking at your networking differently? Again, you're just not trying to, you know, get them cards and exchange business cards, but you're really looking at ways that you can make impact and work with others, particularly those in different generations. Okay, so that is Power Pathway Networking for Influence and Impact. Power Pathway, prioritizing health and well-being. Now, who how many of you knew that this was going to be on the list? Okay. Now, you got to know that we want to live a long, vibrant life, not just live long. Okay. And so, but Geneva, why are you talking about this when we're talking about 2024 and being a leader? Well, I'm talking about, first of all, because if you haven't started yet on prioritizing your health and well-being and you a midlifer, you need to. The best time to start was when? Some time ago. The second best is today. So, prioritizing your health and well being is an absolute essential for midlifers who are, want those power moves and want to reinvent in 2024. And this involves a holistic approach to health. Of course, it's talk about your physical, your mental, your social, your emotional well being. And, this is an important life stage because, particularly for those of you who are listening who are women, that we're going to have some specific health concerns that we're going to go through. We're going to go through change. And it really requires an understanding, a more nuanced understanding of our health and wellness as we go through that. And it's going to be important to integrate self care into our busy schedules. We admit we got busy schedules, we got this, but we got to find a way to integrate in everything that we do. Time management, exercise, time management strategies, and exercise. Well, maybe put that all together. Time management. Well, anyway, you know what I'm saying. The mindfulness. You know the things to do. Okay. By now, as a midlifer, the point is, are you prioritizing them? And that's a power move for 2024. Come on, if you ain't prioritizing this is something that you can do. Your mental health, your emotional resilience, what you eat, your fitness. Look at your age and what kinds of things will help you at your particular age. Actually think about it, study it, make a goal related to prioritizing well-being. Not a New Year's resolution, because I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, because usually all they are is a statement or a phrase. They don't have action steps associated with them or what the pathway is. But whatever you do, you need to be thinking about prioritizing your health and well-being. And consider this, that well-being is also a leadership strength, because it's just not, your personal goals, but a part of the leadership persona that you put out. Because a leader who prioritizes their well-being sets a positive example for their team and is seen as better equipped, perceived to be better able to carry out their role, because they take care of themselves, in the gym, they're fit, they look good, they do good, all of that matters. Okay. And so, as you address age health related concerns and you look at lifestyle changes for longevity and vitality, focusing on these aspects of prioritizing health and well being becomes more meaningful and an actionable pathway for midlife leaders. And please do it. Okay. This one now, another pathway, and how many? Okay. This pathway is another one, setting clear goals and vision. Now, this is my stick here. You got to have the vision, you got to have the goals, you got to have the game plan and the way to get there. And this is familiar to you. If you're a midlife female leader, you know all about, you've heard, you've done it, setting vision, setting clear goals, especially, if you're in a leadership role. But I'm suggesting to you that this concept can be recontextualized for 2024, because I want you to think about revisiting and refining your goals for your new life stage, where you reassess what it is, what you're doing in the context of your life now and what your ideal future self is going to look like. And so the focus here is aligning your goals with your current and future phases of your life, which probably looks different than any other vision or goals you set for yourself in the past. So we're talking difference. And you're going to do things like incorporating legacy and long-term impact in these visions and goals, which you probably didn't do in your 20s or 30s. Okay. So it's a different way about thinking about your goals for your life. And you want to also, more than ever, 20s and 30s, probably wasn't thinking about it, but how you're going to, balance your life, your work life, have this harmony. Because for more and more as midlifers, we want better balance in our lives. And so this becomes a crucial part of your vision for fulfilling life. So again, you see how the concept of something that you've known for a long time shifts when you come into these middle years. And that's what I'm trying to help you with, to prepare you with, to guide you with, to, give you these tools and techniques, etc. Because I done been through all of it. Okay. And, we want to see vision as a tool for navigating the transitions that you're going through, because as you see your future self, that can help you get through these transitions and mentoring and other forms of leadership that you want to have. And then you're going to set goals for personal growth and learning. And by framing, setting clear goals and vision in this way, it becomes more dynamic and relevant to you where you are, focusing on your unique opportunities. And if any of you want any help in framing your vision, your goals, what steps should I be taking? What are my next steps? Try and help to figure that out. Book an appointment with me. I love doing that. And that's what I work with leaders, especially women leaders, though I work with male leaders as well, um, to do this, to figure out their next steps by really creating that vision for, your future self, who you want to be. And it's different than who you were. And so it's important to kind of figure that out and then put forward. And then I want to, okay, so we got some comments. John said, I knew it. This is why I resigned from my job. Blood pressure was going up. Okay. So that's when we were talking about life and all of that and redoing, huh? I'm going to a whole lot of things in my life. You know what? Who said that? My girl Elaine. Let me tell you. That's another. I'm going to do a video on that, Elaine, about because re, that prefix, it talks about doing over. So whatever you put it in front of, redefine. So you do over a definition, reinvent. So you invented yourself, you're reinventing, repurpose, reset. That those of us from, in Detroit, we gonna put that with some Aretha. I wish I could sing her tune for you, but you know what I'm saying. Respect. So that is important. And so as you say, there's a whole lot of that we do, but it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It's fun. And it can be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of it. It's something we can do, and we can do it together. If you need an accountability partner in that, I'm your girl. Okay. I'm your girl. Okay. Let me do this one. I'm going to end with this one. This is one of my favorites. Finding your voice. Midlifers, we've been through all of that. We've talked about how you have the resilience, you've been through it. This finding your voice is about the power of self-expression and unique perspectives that your seasoning brings to the table. Mhm. This concept of finding your voice is a power pathway for midlife leaders is so critical. And I don't want to suggest that you haven't been out there, that you don't have your voice, but I do know how easy it is to lose it. Because this power, we're really talking about refining and amplifying and really using it and not losing it. So when I suffered not only the loss of my baby doll, my soulmate of 40 years, my hubby, to cancer, But at the same time, I also lost my mom and my dad. And, the kind of grief, I had never known that kind of grief could exist. But you all have, experienced this, lost loved ones. Probably, you know, we all have done that and experienced that. And um, I lost my voice, get right down to it. I it was some of it was a physical. I found that my voice was real throaty and I really couldn't talk much. And I had to run my mouth, my whole career. I'm talking, convincing people to give money to important social causes to help kids and families and communities, to work with groups to change neighborhoods and schools, and to talk to donors and volunteers, my board members, my staff, community folk. My voice, but I lost it. And so it was physical, but it also was, I had lost my passion and my desire to speak. And a friend of mine suggested that I um, uh, do some blogging, um, on podcasting. It was on Blog Talk Radio. That's why I said the blogging. It was way back then, and I didn't know what that was, but I said, well, let me try it. And I took my laptop and plugged in my phone, and for 52 weeks, once a week, I talked with leaders from all around the country about their success stories, the impact they were making. And I called it Ignite to Impact. And they had this fire in their belly. And it really was this passion that they had, this passion, this energy that kept them going. And they knew what their dash was. They knew what they needed to do between the time they were born and the time they ended. And I needed to find my dash and understand that and reinvent myself, and get back my passion. And I did. And now I speak. And that's why I named my company Dr. Geneva Speaks. And it might be in any field that you're in, that for you, it might not be losing your voice, but it may be that you need to refine or amplify or more effectively use your voice. Because what you've got going for you, just like I discovered that my life, though it would be different, it wasn't over. And that I still had plenty to give. So I had to reframe and rediscover my voice. And, we've got, particularly as women leaders, we can change the world. We can change our communities, our schools, our families, the people we work with, we can lead. And we need to use our voices on larger platforms, advocating for more significant change, influencing many more people, finding ourselves in new, broader, expanded roles, writing that book, doing that podcast, whatever it is, we need to let loose our experience and wisdom. And that's a power pathway to 2024. And that's the one I wanted to leave you with. I so much have enjoyed being with you and talking about this conversation. But more importantly, I hope that you found value from it. Love you all. I will not see you next week. For those of you live here with me, those of you on the replay, I'm taking that week of between Christmas and New Year's off. I'm coming back with the new season of Ignite to Impact. As I told you, I started off on Blog Talk Radio, and now I'm bringing Ignite to impact to you. And we're going to have a great time talking about the things we need to do to reinvent ourselves so that we get that spark, so that we can ignite our greatest impact. I will see you. Happy holidays to everyone. I adore you being here and love you that you've been here. And thank you. And we're going to close with mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate you and what you've said. And thank you um, about being the biggest cheerleader of yourself. And thank you. Thank you all so much. Happy holidays. Bye. Here we go. End screen. Stream. This is how I do it. This is how you do it. Okay. Even when you're not sure about what you're doing, you just get up here and do it. If the passion has you move it, all right. See y'all.